Magic, the art of prestidigitation and illusion, the art to amaze, where any object is the magician's paintbrush and the magician's palette is the audience. A world where the mundane life of school, pizza, and video games fades away to wonder, where for just one moment we too can believe in the extraordinary. During this most magical time of year, I am going to take you into this world of magic. So, buckle up your safety belts because this promises to be a very wild ride. The opportunity to each perform and learn a unique trick that is specific for you and develop your own routine around this trick. For this example, this video, I am going to show you the color changing rope to many ropes. Think of the fact that we need to hook our reader with some sort of uh, really thought-provoking introduction to try to pull them into the idea of what we're speaking of, or what we're writing of rather. We also need to introduce a thesis statement to give them that little peek into what we're writing on. So let's do that right now. My original idea of chameleons changing color and then multiplying things, I tried to take advantage of both of those within my introduction. Remember, the introduction is only a sentence to try to hook in your reader and sort of allude to the idea of what you'll be speaking on in your essay. Imagine a world where you can change the color of any object at will, or even multiply one object into several objects. How would you feel? Then I go straight into my thesis. Using inferences, evidence from the text, and personal reactions, this essay will explain the effect, gimmick, steps, and presentation used to perform the world's most magical illusion, the color-changing rope and many ropes. Well, again, at this point in time, what I would do is I would go back to the video I found online or look in my secret instructions. Several of the instructions include a description of the effect as to what the audience will see. Because remember, guys, not everyone has a computer. Not everyone is able to find or access videos of these performances online. And so you need to be as descriptive as humanly possible in the presentation of these effects. Okay? What would that look like? Well, let me show you what I wrote for this example. The magician displays an ordinary white robe. After showing the audience that his hands are completely empty, the magician gives the rope a shake, causing the rope to instantly turn red as if by magic. So yes, he always seemed to show his hands on either side, which I like, to show that there wasn't anything up his sleeves or there weren't any gimmicks in his hand. He would give the rope a shake and then something happened. So it turned red as if by magic. Next, the magician shakes the rope again, causing it to return to its original color. Then, so first, next, then, the magician displays that his hands are completely empty, moving any suspicion that the ropes are being switched in any way. Finally, the magician gives the ropes a tug, and he grabbed the ropes and went like this to show that the single white rope has mysteriously transformed into several colored cords. The audience applauds rather in amazement. What we have here is something that kind of simulates rope, a woven material that is a sleeve. There's actually two sleeves, in fact. So the magician holds on to this red pom-pom here. There are two rings, one at either end, for the magician to grab onto and slide. Watch. So the first time, again, all of this is in his hand. The first time he slides it, he slides down the outer sleeve to show us this inner red sleeve. Right? Again, something that it looks like you would play with your cat with. The second time he does it, all of this being in his hand to where no one can see any of it, he's going to take the ring at the other side and he's going to slide it in the opposite direction to reveal the different colored forms. This, my friends, is perhaps the most challenging part of the whole essay. How do you explain something like this to a reader to where they can understand it and picture it in their minds? Obviously, when we're writing an essay, we can't draw a picture or sketch a picture for them to look at. We have to draw a picture in their minds of what this looks like. So, take a look at this again. How would you describe it? What are the key elements or the key parts of whatever you want to call this thing? There is a white sleeve, a red sleeve, a pom-pom sewn at one end to grab on, and a bunch of colored nylon cords on the inside. All right. If this is just too many moving parts for you to grab onto, I'm going to show you the version that I have personally of the same effect. Mine is less extravagant, but again, it's a white sleeve to where when you grab onto one end and pull very quickly, obviously, there's something on the inside, right? Then you can pull it back to make it look like it's a rope again. Let's see how I've described this in my own essay. The magician must make sure that there are no wrinkles in either sleeve, okay? When performing this illusion, now we get to the steps. So we have to talk about what the magician needs to do before even walking out and showing this to an audience. What is the setup for this, okay? And now we're going to take it step by step into how to perform. When performing this illusion, first show the audience the white outer sleeve while giving it a shake. Then we have to think of some way to distract our audience. Okay, now this man chooses to do a silent style of magic where he tries to let the magic speak for itself. But I am telling you folks that only 10% of magic is the actual trick. The other 90% rather of magic is the connection that you make with an audience through a story. If you don't have a good story, if you don't have a strong connection with an audience, then you really don't have magic at the end of it all. So, how can we distract our audience? Well, we need to tell them a story of some sort. Maybe if I fold the ropes and give it a tug, it can change into any color that you would imagine, right? Then we're going to fold the rope to grab the ring at the top of the gimmick, displaying the inner sleeve. We're going to repeat the process with the ring at the opposite end to reveal the colored nylon cords. Then we can make some witty comment, you know, like, were one of these your color, right? And finally, we have to get rid of this thing. Because if we keep it in our hands, the audience is going to pay too much attention to this and they're going to want to hold it, touch it, whatever, examine it, which we definitely don't want them doing because then they'll discover that it's not really rope. So let's get rid of that to show that our hands are empty to finish the trick. Comes my favorite part of this entire process, creating the presentation that we're going to tell the audience as we perform. This is called stage pattern. It's a story that serves to entertain and distract your audience from what is really going on. Remember, when it comes to magic, there's two causes and there's two effects. There's the side that the audience sees, the magical side that the audience believes to be true, and then there's the reality of it, the less magical side that the magician knows to be true. So let's do this. Obviously, we don't want to read word for word of whatever a presentation is in our secret instructions. That would be dull, right? Variety is the spice of life here. I want a presentation that is going to be unique to me. I also want to think about the occasion for this presentation. It is a Christmas magic show. So maybe I want to somehow involve Christmas in the story of what I am telling the audience. Whatever magical explanation I am giving for why this rope changes color and why it turns into several different ropes, okay? So let's think about this. I go from white to red, and then I go from red to a whole bunch of little colored cords. So that kind of makes me think of a candy cane. All right, I'm just gonna run this through a few times in my head and try to develop some sort of a story. Now, I won't be showing you what I wrote in my essay because obviously I don't want you copying me. I want the story to be your own. But this is something that something roundabout that I would say to my audience, okay? I might show a candy cane, have one on the table for the audience member to pick up, and I'll say, you know what? Whenever I look at a candy cane, I always wonder how they get the red and white stripes on the cane. Some people think that they have one red stripe and one white stripe that they kind of twist together, but that's not it at all. You see, the candy makers have a little bit of Christmas magic, and it goes something like this. I'll demonstrate on this white piece of rope. You see, if I just take the rope and give it a rub while saying a magic word, the heat from my hands will change this rope into a whole other color. Let's see. Abracadabra, alakazam. You can see that that rope has now turned from white into red, right? Candy canes are red and white. But let's take it one step further because obviously there's got to be stripes, right? Can't just be one color. That would make it a dull candy cane. So let's try it one more time. We're going to say the magic word. Abracadabra, alakazam, give it a tug, and now we can see our stripes. Well, it's maybe more like licorice, but if we kind of twist it a little, we have our candy cane's pinstripes. And this, my friends, is how the candy makers stripe their candy canes with a little bit of Christmas magic. Finally, we're going to end this thing with a nice conclusion that kind of rounds out the essay and brings them back to the introduction, that little food for thought that you give the audience. Using information from the text or from our instructions and personal inferences, this essay has explained the effect, gimmick, secret steps, and presentation to perform the world's most magical illusion. The color-changing rope to many ropes. And the next time you look at a candy cane, you'll always remember this fascinating magic trick. I hope this was helpful, and good luck as you create your own presentations and your magical informational essays. Take care.